righty, welcome everybody. And no, it is not Brownsville Tech Live tonight. It's just that we decided to use Studio A today, and we had have to rebuild some screens for the Spin Zone. But officially, it's the Spin Zone tonight, and hopefully, I'll last at least an hour without losing my voice. So I've been suffering a little bit. But Steve, welcome back.
Hey, thank you, Dan. Thank you for having me on board again. It's the Spin Zone Season 3. What episode?
Episode 2, Season 3.
Awesome.
And it is
Awesome.
exactly 30 days, 3 hours, 16 minutes, and 30 seconds before the start of training camp. And so
Awesome.
it's getting pretty exciting. And basically, there's a lot going on with the Cowboys. And we're going to go ahead and get started, and then we'll talk about a few other things. But hopefully, like I said, if I lose my voice, Steve, you'll have to take over. So,
Not a problem, man. Not a problem. I'll get over it.
all right.
So,
So here
hey,
we go.
are you streaming live?
I am streaming live.
I can't find you anywhere.
Yeah, I'm live.
I'm refreshing and Facebook doesn't show you anywhere.
Should be. Yeah, I'm streaming. Let me see. Unless they blocked me, but
Hey,
hold on.
wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be the first time, right? Nope. Yep. I just saw myself. Yep. We're on. We're on.
All right. I
Yep.
guess.
Let me. In fact, what you can do. Let me do this. I'm gonna hold on. Brownsville. There we are, and then return and 5 6. Yep, and then Daniel. Where are you, Daniel? Yeah, I gotta be careful that I pick the right one. All right. So I just shared it across the.
Gotcha. I got your share. All right, but I didn't see it before.
Yeah, it's kind of slow sometimes, but
All right.
we'll eventually get there. But
Awesome.
basically, a lot's going on. Obviously, as we talked about last week, we've got a new fearless leader, right? His name is Brian Schottenheimer. And for those of you that know him or the name sounds familiar, he's the new head coach, but he was previously hired as the offensive coordinator back 2 years ago. And he became head coach after Mike McCarthy left back in January. And there was some controversy. Obviously, there were some fans out there that just weren't happy, right, with the selection. They really wanted somebody from the outside. There was all kinds of wishes that it was Bill Belichick, but as we know, Bill Belichick is too busy with his 29-year-old girlfriend. He doesn't have time to head coach anymore. Who can blame him, right? So
Right.
basically, Bill Belichick was out of the running, so to speak. So um, that pretty much left Brian Schottenheimer, and he's not anybody new to football. In fact, his dad was a head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs for many years. And Brian also has quite a lengthy history of experience going all the way back to 1997, where he started off as an assistant head coach with the St. Louis Rams and has done several stints for them, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Redskins, the Chargers, the New York Jets, the Rams, the Colts, the Seahawks, and the Jaguars, and of course the Dallas Cowboys. So this is not his first time around the rodeo, so to speak. So
Has he been a head coach with those?
no,
All right.
no.
So this is the first
This
time as a head coach.
Yeah, it's the first time as a head coach. I mean, as the head coaches, depending on who it is, I mean, the guys that really call the plays are the offensive coordinators and the defensive coordinators. I think sometimes head coaches take too much credit, right? But the reality of it is that the ones that are doing the plays and deciding on the plays are the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, right?
Yep.
And of course, the guy at the top either gets celebrated or blamed, right? So, and in fact, sometimes you don't get any credit, even though you were your own head coach for quite a while, right? Just ask Barry Switzer how much credit he got, even though he was the winningest coach in college football, right?
Yep.
And he did win one of the three Super Bowls, but they'll never give him credit for that, right? Because everybody was pissed off because of the fact that Jimmy Johnson had been fired, prior to that. So, you know, history will never tell, right? What would have happened, right? Whether we really would have gone for a fourth Super Bowl had Jimmy Johnson been, everybody speculates, right? But everybody has their number eventually, right?
Right.
Everybody's number
Right.
comes up. No one lasts forever. So, but yep, we have a new fearless leader, and there's lots of excitement there going on. He brings a whole different perspective with dealing with the players, and so that is something that is going to be interesting to see how things move forward. But basically, in addition to the head coaching job, we've got the offensive line head coaches, and these are the guys right there. I'm not going to go through them because I went through them last week,
Yes, you did.
but these are the guys that are leading the offensive line coaching staff. So, and I got my animation working,
All right.
so some of it. And of course, these are the defensive coaches as well as the special teams and special projects coaches. Like I said, I'm not going to go over these at all, but basically, possible trades. They're already talking some possible trades. Believe it or not, it's
I heard Diggs might be one of them.
well, we'll go through them right now. We'll talk about Trayvon Diggs here. I don't know if it's going to be in this screen, but we'll definitely talk about what's going on with Trayvon Diggs a little bit here. And these are possible trades before training camp even starts. So one of the ones that is on potentially as a trade is going to be Luke Schoonmaker. He's the tight
Uh
end.
huh.
And they're talking about TJ Brass, offensive
Yep.
lineman. Paris Campbell, which was a wide receiver they just signed up this year. He appears not to be cutting the mustard, so he may be on the way out or traded. Dakota Shepley, offensive line. And of course, Tyrus Wheat, defensive end. So these are the possible trades that may happen before the start of training camp. So these are the guys. I thought Schoonmaker had done pretty well, but apparently, according to what I read, he had not had a pretty good year last year. And so he's possibly going to be looking towards getting traded here eventually. So
So imagine that. Imagine you're one of those guys.
imagine, right? Imagine being one of those guys and being on the chopping block, even before you even get to throw your practice ball, you know. And of course, there are some make or break for 2025. And one of those is Mozzie Smith. He has just not cut the mustard. He's a defensive end. And if he does not cut the mustard this year, the likelihood of him playing the following year is very unlikely. And as you mentioned, Trayvon Diggs is another one that has got the eyes and ears of the front office. If he does not cut the mustard in 2025, the likelihood of him returning for the following season is not good. But of course, they don't mention they're going to get rid of him during the year. They're just saying that if he doesn't cut the mustard, he may not. Both of these two guys may not return at all. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens. There's a lot
I
of
personally thought that Trevor Diggs was good.
yeah, and there was a lot of hope when it came to Mozzie Smith last year,
Right.
but you know that just didn't happen, right? And there's some running back saga, believe it or not, some drama
Already.
already, and obviously there are even talks about possible trades. And what the deal is the Dallas Cowboys have an opportunity to trade for Travis Etienne Jr., a running back out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have not been impressed with some of their acquisitions. That includes Miles Sanders, right? So they're not very happy, as well as Javonte Williams, right? And these guys recently were signed up. And of course, Jaden Blue, which came from UT. So these guys, there's a possibility that one of these guys is going to be traded for Travis Etienne. I think that's how you spell his name. And of course, there's always all this talk about, getting Deuce the Goose or the Loose or whatever you want to call it, um, out back on the field, right? And so I don't believe that the Deuce is going anywhere, but they may use him a little bit more. But definitely, this is a possibility. And I don't remember what the deadline is, but basically, they're really seriously thinking of getting this guy, um, as a possible trade. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yes, it would.
And of course, I couldn't do the second show without doing the active roster, as painful as that was.
Right.
There's too many. I can't even. I didn't even count them this time. But obviously, there is definitely a lot of players out there.
There's more than 53.
No, there's more than 53. There's probably at 90 at this point. But there's definitely some names that we you know see from last year. Brian Anger, Brandon Aubrey, T.J. Bass, Marquise Bell. Is that Deron Bland? Yeah, that's Deron Bland. Like I said, I didn't know much about Jaden Blue, right? So I know he came from UT, so he's a new guy, right? And then of course you've got Jalen Brooks, right? Which he's been there for a while. I'm not going to go through the ones I don't recognize. Let's see. Josh Butler. I don't know about. His name sounds familiar. This Paris Campbell is one that may be cut, as we talked about previously. Um, let's see who else pops in here. Trayvon Diggs, as we know, he's got to make or
Yeah.
break this year, right? And then Jake Ferguson. We're all familiar with Jake Ferguson. The only problem with the animation is it does take a while to refresh the screen. So
It's all good.
Ryan Flournoy, he's been there for a while. I think Fowler's been there for a while. It's kind of hard for me to read all these. Let's see here. Malik Hooker, he's been there for a while. Uh, then of course you got CeeDee Lamb. He's not going anywhere, right?
Nope.
And Hunter Lupke, he's not going anywhere. At least I don't think. You've got, I think this guy Israel's Makumu has been there for a while. I think he was there last year. Demarion Overshone, he's there. Micah Parsons. We'll talk about Micah Parsons, right? He's still
Yeah,
up
we
in the
have
air.
to.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out whether he's going to get a contract or he's not going to get a contract, right? So, George Pickens, brand new acquisition, wide receiver, complement to CeeDee Lamb. There's a lot of excitement with regards to George Pickens. We talked about that last week. So we're really hoping that he's going to do fairly well. And of course, Dak, he's not going anywhere, at least not this year, right? So,
Not this year.
you know. And let's see who else is on here that I recognize. Luke Shoemaker, of course, we know he could be on the chopping block, right? Mozzie Smith could also be on the
Hey,
chopping block.
I'm gonna disappear for a minute. I'll be right back.
All right. And of course, we've got Terrence Steele also that's there from last year. So Steve kind of had to pop away for a little bit. I think he went for a pee break or something. So always go to the bathroom before you start a podcast. That's the general rule for all my co-hosts and my guests. So today I don't have any water, so if I lose my voice in between, just bear with me. So There's Hash Brown. Well, maybe Hash Brown needed to go out. And then, of course, we got John Stevens Jr., who's been there for quite a while. We've got Jason Tolbert, or Jalen Tolbert. Sorry, I couldn't tell here on the screen. Jalen Tolbert's been over there. Cavante Turpin, Deuce the Goose Vaughn. He's there. He's not going anywhere. Let's see. Tyrone Wheat, we spoke about him earlier. He looks like he may be a possible trade before training camp. So it'll be interesting to see. Javonte Williams is there. Sam Williams, he's there. He's not going anywhere. And of course, Donovan Wilson. And I'm not sure about that last one. His name doesn't sound very familiar, but these are the active roster players. And then, of course, that's followed by unrestricted free agents. And there's a couple of guys that are unrestricted free agents. These include Linval Joseph, which is a defensive tackle. Eric Kendricks, he is a linebacker. Carl Lawson, he is a defensive end. Amari Osuwariyi, he's a cornerback. Nick Vigil, he is a linebacker. And Carlos Watkins, he's a defensive end. So these are unrestricted free agents, no contract whatsoever. And there's some exemptions and some cuts. Obviously, Denzel Disson, I believe, is an extension. He's a defensive exemption. He's a defensive tackle. And there are some cuts that have already happened. The cuts include Luke Barco, he's a cornerback, and Justin Rogers, which is a defensive tackle. And we have a few undrafted free agents as well. These include Justin Baron, which is a linebacker, Zion Childress, he's a defensive back, Elijah Clark, defensive back, Rivaldo Fairweather, he's a tight end, Bruce Harmon, he's a defensive back, Trayshawn Holden, he's a wide receiver, Josh Kelly, he's also a wide receiver, Tyler Neville, he's a tight end, and followed by Mike Smith Jr., he's a defensive back. So basically, what's going to happen really is that there is 90 plus team players. There's 90 plus players on the team right now. And as we get closer to training camp, and at the start of training camp, as well as during training camp and after training camp, they're going to reduce the active roster to 53 men. So from 90, 53 are going to be selected as the active roster for the season for this year. So a lot of it depends on how they've done in mini camp. A lot of it depends on how they've done in training camp. And that pretty much determines whether they stay and play with the Cowboys or uh, basically, what happens. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot is hinging on their success as players, right? So it'll be interesting to see who stays and who doesn't.
All right, I'm
As
back. Sorry about that.
no problem.
Hey, I had to go find some dogs that had escaped.
Oh, okay.
So,
You know what? I just realized that the comments were not on.
all right, yeah, and I sent you a comment a while ago and
I
never.
saw it. Yeah, hold on. Let me put them on here for a second. So we actually went through the roster already.
All
Um,
right, the all 119.
yeah, yeah. So basically, what I explained was that during training camp and after training camp, decisions are going to be made on who the 53 men are going to be, right? And a
Right.
lot depends on their performance, uh, during mini camp, during training camp, and after training camp. So that's what it hinges on. Um, why don't you go ahead and send another test? See
All
another
right.
comment. See if it'll go through. It should go through. See if it comes in. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I do have auto on. Yeah, I do have auto on. Hold on. Let's see. This is a test. Nothing. S-
Whatever.
send another one just in
All right.
case.
Just sent.
The heck?
Anything?
No.
Hmm.
Hold
There we
on.
go. There we go.
You saw it?
Yeah, it popped up on your screen.
It did?
Yeah. See?
Oh, look where it's at.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I got what happened was that I have to switch the positions of the comments between Doug's show and give me a second, I'll fix it. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. I forget. Hold on.
Bless you.
I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting sick.
It's old age.
You think? Hold on. All right, there we go. So we got comments. So for anybody
There we
out
go.
there, comments are working. So basically, yeah. So the big question, like we had last week, was Micah
Last year?
Parsons, right? Yeah. Micah is waiting for a contract, right? There continues to be ongoing contract negotiations. And one of the biggest things is we don't want to lose Micah Parsons. He's got a career record of 54 sacks over the last 4 seasons. He has shown up despite not having a contract to minicamp, and he plans to attend training camp, contract or no contract. So he's being a good sport, right? Maybe he needs the money, but nevertheless, he's
You never
showing up,
know.
right? So will he manage to get 100 million plus? Will he exceed Myles Garrett's contract? That's to be seen. But obviously, Myles Garrett has been very, very supportive of Micah Parsons' quest
Yes.
to get a contract and get one that's, as he said, he deserves every penny that
Mm-hmm.
he's got. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. And of course, how could we not forget the biggest factor of the whole team are the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, right? We definitely know that the Cowboys wouldn't be the Cowboys without the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. And I did some research, by the way, for this episode. So found out a few things. Something about the cheerleaders is, they are great feminists. They believe in equal pay for equal work, right? And believe it or not, the girls actually secured a 400% salary
Right.
increase.
Yep.
Imagine for all the ladies out there that work every day, they probably aren't able to secure a 400% salary increase. But when you kind of calculate it, they're only getting paid $15 an hour, right?
Right.
And it appears that they get paid $500 per appearance in 2014. So quite frankly, for the ladies out there, don't be jealous of the girls. They're not getting paid a whole lot. They still have to go do their part-time job at Ojos Locos, or they
Or
have to,
wherever else they
or they
work.
have to open up an OnlyFans page because they're not getting paid a whole lot of money for being Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. In fact, the older ladies, right, that are the older cheerleaders, maybe Dolly Parton for that matter, they can get paid up to $75 an hour. I don't think Dolly Parton actually made $75 during her appearance last year, right? But I think she's got plenty of money. But definitely, the older cheerleaders only get paid $75 an hour, and it's only 4 hours, right? Is it about 4 hours?
Mhm.
Something like that. So it's not like a whole lot of money, right? you know. But definitely congratulations to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. They managed to get a 400% salary increase, even though it's not a whole lot. Now, have you ever gotten a 400% salary increase?
Mm-mm.
I think the average salary increase nationwide in general is typically 3% across the board, right? So, but keep in mind que no estaban haciendo ni papa. So it
Well, they were dancing. What do you mean?
well, no, yes, they were, but they weren't getting paid, equal pay
Oh,
for
oh,
equal work,
oh,
so, pobrecitas, estaban starving, las pobres. Not even enough money for the tuition.
well, I wouldn't say starving, because they do outside events.
Well, they do, right? They do, you know. But then, of course, Dolly knocked them right out of the ballpark, last year,
Yes, she did.
so. But yep, they congratulations to them. They got a 400% salary increase. You know, and of course the preseason schedule, as we talked about last week. Week 1, Saturday, uh, August 9th at 6 p.m. It's the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be in Los Angeles, so the Cowboys are going to have their first preseason game with the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium, whatever you want to call it. We don't know where it's going to be broadcast yet, but that's going to be week 1. And then week 2, Saturday, August 16th at 6 p.m. That's going to be a home game at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, and they're going to meet up with the Baltimore Ravens. And once again, that is not yet to be announced on which station that's going to be. And then followed by week number 3, which is the last preseason game. They're going to meet up on August 22nd at 7 p.m. with the Atlanta Falcons. That's also going to be a home game. And once again, we don't have an idea of where those preseason games are going to actually appear on TV. So as we find out a little bit more, we will definitely let you know. And then, of course, for the regular season, week 1, it starts off on September 4th, and that's also a big day for us. It is the day that we give away an official Dallas Cowboy jersey. And for those of you that don't know, all that's required is for you to register as a follower, and we'll show you right now in a few minutes what that means with regards to how to register as a follower. So basically, why don't I do that right now? Hold on. Let me,
Yeah, as a lot of people still don't know how to do that.
yeah, believe it or not, a lot of people don't. Let me see here. All right. Give me a second. Where are you, iPhone? Where are you? There you are. All right, so I'm going to kill the slides for a minute here. Hold on, I got to reconnect to the server. Sorry about that. Our virtual iPhone disconnected from the server, so hopefully it reconnects. Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Actually, what we'll do is we'll show it in a few minutes. Let me go through the slides and then we'll
All right.
finish the slides and then we'll do that. So, give me a second. All right. So basically, the regular season starts off week 1. Like I said, is the opening kickoff game between the returning Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys. That's going to be at 7:20 p.m. and it's going to be broadcasted on your NBC affiliate, which is channel 23-1 for those of you on off the air antenna, and 23 on those of you that can afford cable. So that will also be the day that we will announce the winner of the Dallas Cowboy jersey. So once
Have
again,
you selected a time?
it'll be before the game, I believe. I think we're going to do it before the game or halftime. I haven't really decided yet, you know. And then week 2, which is September 14th, that is a home game. And by the way, the Philadelphia game is an away game, by the way. Week 2 brings the New York Giants over to AT&T Stadium in Dallas, where they'll meet up at noontime with the Dallas Cowboys. So for those of you at church, hurry your butt back early so that you can catch the game at 12 noon. And that's going to be broadcasted on the Fox network. And of course, week 3 is going to bring the Chicago Bears, or actually Dallas is headed over to Chicago to meet up with the Chicago Bears. That game is on at 3:25 in the afternoon, and that's going to be played at Soldier Field, and that will be broadcasted on the Fox network. And of course, as we mentioned, we've got our giveaway, which is the Dallas Cowboy jersey. All it takes is to subscribe to both Brownsville Tech Live and 956 Live, both Facebook pages. And when you follow, you must do it publicly, which means you must be a public follower. Once you follow both pages, we will verify and we will automatically enter you to be a contestant for for a possibility to win a jersey. It's pretty easy. It's totally free. You don't have to buy anything. You just got to be a follower to both pages. And by the way, for those of you that also want, you guys can go over to our YouTube and like and follow and subscribe, to our pages on YouTube as well, both for Brownsville Tech Live and 956 Live as well. So get yourself the chance to win an authentic jersey. This is not one that you can buy on Temu or Shein or at the Pulga. This is the real deal. This is a Nike jersey. It is got the no sweat technology, which means that you can wear it an entire year and not even wash it. You don't even sweat. So, it's a great deal. It's a 100, and $75 value. So for those of you that want a chance to win a jersey, go out there and do that. We're actually going to show you how to do that real quick. If you just give us a second, we'll show you what it takes to actually go out there and register. All right, so let me see here what we're going to do. All right, so let me turn on the AirPlay again. This thing crapped out. Let's see here. AirPlay. All right, so let me get my phone back up and running here. All right. Okay, so basically, what the heck happened? Oh, there it is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I gotta turn it on. Hold on. The heck? There we go. There we go. All right. So basically, what you do is you go over to your Facebook account and you do a search, right? And you go Brownsville Tech Live. And when you do that, you're going to get to where it says pages, and there's a follow button right there. And you click on follow. And once you click on follow, you automatically become a follower on Brownsville Tech Live.
But do your settings have to be anywhere, or
Well,
how do
the
I know if I'm
settings,
a public or a private follower?
that part I have not been able to pinpoint yet. How that is set. It is set somewhere in your Facebook profile settings. I promise that next week I will get the answer for that one. But I just wanted to show those individuals how you get to follow the actual page. So all you do is you click on follow, and then I believe that I don't know if 956, sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. Um, oh, for some reason this one doesn't show up the same way, but if you see right there where it says follow, you
Mm-hmm.
see that button? You just click on follow.
Hey everybody. Well, it
So
is our
hold on. Yeah, they're playing a video here, but basically that's all you do is you follow both pages, and once you do that, we'll verify, and then you'll automatically become entered into the giveaway, which will be on September 4th.
Oh,
Uh,
how are you?
they're calling me. Hold on. Hey, Chrissy. Okay, baby, I'll be right there. So that's basically it. That's all you have to do to enter into the contest. So
Ooh.
we've got several weeks to go, and this is pretty much it for this episode. Steve, uh,
Thanks what you did for having me on board. Sorry I had to head out for a minute. But
I
hey,
know,
now
I
you have to
know.
head out.
Now I've got to head out, and I'm about on the verge of losing my voice. So
Oh, hey,
hopefully
hey,
I
get
don't
out of
lose it
here.
because I have one more podcast for tomorrow. So,
And that one,
yep.
you guys have a good night. Thank y'all for
Everybody have a
joining.
great night. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. All right, I'm out of here because I got to
Get
go
out of
back
here.
up.
Bye.
Bye bye. You ready, sweetie?